Everybody, Stuart here. It's Tuesday, the 27th of November. Welcome to our European update. Pound remains very much in focus here. Cable chart here, you see it's fallen on the European Open here quite aggressively through the 128 handle, through S2, and S3 now sits all the way down here at where are we? That's 127.12. So that's a big old move there for cable. It's all to do with uncertainty about obviously the Brexit deal. I won't bore you with that. If you want some more details, come to the webinar and we'll talk through it in greater detail. But significant, as we talked about yesterday, significant resistance here at 128.46, which it just couldn't break through yesterday, and it's moved down very aggressively. Euro. Again, slipped down a wee bit. The persistent problems over the Italian budget hang on the euro, but there's talk this morning of the next year's budget being reduced to 2.2% as opposed to 2.4%. So that should give the euro a wee bit of a bid, but it's really the dollar that's in focus today, following Trump's comments in the Wall Street Journal yesterday about the ensuing a trade war with China will continue from the sound of things, and in fact tariffs could potentially increase. So next week's meeting, the end of the week's meeting with Xi and Trump will be a bit fractious, one would expect. So support for euro here this morning at 113.06, so an S2 down here at 12.86. So the psychological 113 looms for euro dollar this morning. Dollar yen, on the other hand, has run out of steam basically. Next resistance is what this here from last week when we talked about it's 13.75. So dollar remains relatively well bid in the 20 period there here on this 1 hour chart. You can see how it's held that support as it's broken over these other moving averages here and still moves to the north. There was some relatively good inflation data for the Japanese yen overnight as well. So dollars shook that off though, and it's accrued up. Stock markets recovered a wee bit yesterday. This is the 1 hour futures. And then it slipped on Trump's report. So this again, remember this is Friday's close down here at this 2628 level. So we rallied yesterday a wee bit. Nasdaq was up over 2%. S&P 500 here was up 1 and a bit percent. We ran this morning into the 200 period here, which is interesting, at 2680. So that still looks relatively well bid intraday. Gold and oil. Gold, not quite sure where it's going. It rallied to 126 yesterday. And then we've come off as dollars improve. So here, this crossing moving average system we talk about here, that would have triggered an entry there yesterday at 5 o'clock as that candle's closed, and that's run off down. And that continues to be weak as we stalled at the 200 period, as you might expect, and then we spiked through it this morning, stalled at S1, and we've ran through 1220 so far this month. So gold remains under pressure as dollars accrued. And finally, oil, what to say, the daily chart remains very, very well in a strong downtrend. 30 odd days now since it was last over its 20-day moving average. I said this a few times, but trends continue and they run and they run. Why not? Why fight them? And there we go. That's all the way down here. So $50 is obviously the key support level. I say more on that in the webinar as well. So will $50 hold? We'll see. 6th of December is a key next meeting for OPEC, and there's a meeting today as well for members of the OPEC Council as well. So oil remains under pressure. And finally, I've said finally on oil, but finally let's talk about Bitcoin again. Yesterday's low was 3,650 here on our exchange, on our platform here. So a weak Bitcoin continues, and again, if we go up to the daily time frame, I'm sure you've all seen this before. Right old sell-off in the last couple of weeks. Pressure on the cryptos across the board. The powers that be behind Bitcoin falling out about this hard fork, and more supply coming on. So therefore, Bitcoin has slipped and slipped again. So anyway, more on that. I guess I'll say at the webinar. Join me later. We'll see you all then, and watch later. I'll talk later this afternoon about the real data today. It's all speeches and the consumer confidence out of the US as well. So watch Claridia later as well if you don't see the next video later on today. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.